Doctor Who being able to run for 60 years is all down to one key aspect of the show, regeneration. It's allowed multiple different actors to take on the role of the Doctor to keep the show fresh and keep it moving forward. Now, what I want to do is look into how many incarnations of the Doctor there actually has been. Now, I'm only going to look into the TV show because the expanded media like Big Finish often gets contradicted by the show eventually, just like the 60th anniversary has contradicted some of the Big Finish stories. Getting straight in there, we now know that the Doctor started off as the Timeless Child. Now, there was the first one, the second, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. The seventh was the incarnation that we know that Tecteun managed to crack the code for regeneration. This was the Timeless Child that got inducted into the division. Now, after this, it's not as clear in the ordering, but I feel like, based on the episodes The Timeless Children, that the next incarnation that we know of at least would be the Fugitive Doctor, also known as Ruth. After this, we don't really know exactly how many more incarnations, or if there was any before, but also thanks to the Timeless Children episode, we now know that the Morbius Doctors, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, are all now canon to the Doctor. There was debates about this in the past, if it was to do with Morbius faces or Doctor faces, but now it is confirmed that it was all part of the Doctor's past. There is one more face that appeared in the Timeless Children during the Doctor's memories, but I'll get to that later. After the Morbius Doctors, it's safe to assume that the next Doctor would be the first Doctor. If you look back at the Timeless Children, you can see when the Doctor's showing the memories, it starts from her, and she works her way down through all the Doctors, and when she gets to the first Doctor, she then moves on to the 8th Morbius Doctor. We know this story. We get the first Doctor, the second Doctor, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. After the 8th Doctor, we then move on to the War Doctor. He's newer compared to some of the other incarnations, being introduced in the 50th anniversary. Now, we only have the War Doctor because they couldn't get Christopher Eccleston back as the 9th Doctor for the 50th, so they created the War Doctor for that role. And the 50th ended with the War Doctor regenerating, and we know he goes into 9, 10, and 11. Now, the 11th Doctor was the end of the current regeneration cycle that the Doctor had, because the War Doctor got added in, and the 10th Doctor's regeneration, where he put it into his own hand, counted as one of the regeneration cycles. The 11th Doctor was the last of the line until he got given more regeneration energy. Did he get given a new cycle, or did he just get restored what he originally had before, which was the Timeless Child regeneration? Now, after the 11th Doctor, we go on to the 12th Doctor and the 13th Doctor. Now, this one's a bit more up in the air, as I couldn't fully decide to count this or not. But it was the Master Doctor, because it's claimed to be a forced regeneration. The 13th Doctor did get moved on before eventually coming back, so even though this regeneration was undone, the Master Doctor was technically used up as a cycle. Now we move on to the 14th Doctor, who didn't actually regenerate in the standard way that we know, but obviously, as most of you who are watching probably do know, because the 60th anniversary was a couple of weeks ago, bi-generated into the 15th Doctor. And that's where we are today. Now, there is a few others that I haven't included in this standard list, and I'll go through them now. So we've got the Curator first, who there's a lot of debate on what it could be. I did a video on it before. I want to do another video going on about the Curator another time, so I won't go into too much, but there's a few different counts of what the Curator could be. And then we've got the Watcher, who I haven't counted because technically the Watcher wasn't the Doctor, but was the Doctor. It was just the 5th Doctor taking over the 4th Doctor sort of thing, if you get me. And then we've got the Valeyard, who was said to be between the 12th and 13th incarnation. Now, we always thought that meant between the 12th and 13th Doctor, but now with the whole Timeless Child stuff, we don't know if the Valeyard was maybe fitting in between, like, there somewhere, before Ruth, after Ruth. We don't really know where the Valeyard stands at this point anymore, or if it was ever actually the Doctor. The Meta-Crisis Doctor, I haven't counted him either, because even though he came from a regeneration, through the energy going to the hand and then him growing with Donna's touch, he wasn't an incarnation of the Doctor, he was grown from a part of the Doctor. And then we get to the Dream Lord, who's not part of the regeneration cycle, because he was just a manifestation of the dark side of the Doctor. And then we get to Brendan, who was the character in the Matrix telling the story. when Master and the Doctor were together on Gallifrey. Now, Brendan was basically the sort of cover-up for the Timeless Child situation. But when the 13th Doctor blasted her memories at the Matrix, Brendan was one of the faces that came up. So it's sort of a case of it could be the Doctor, it could not be the Doctor. There's no solid proof to say either way at the moment, so I've left it here as an other. Like I said, I've not done any of the extended universe stuff because otherwise there's like 2 other curators I could have used, because the curators used 2 other faces as well in the expanded universe, and there's a lot of other people. If there's anyone from the TV that I've missed out, just let me know in the comments. But I think I covered everyone. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for another video.